Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Alright, let's talk about Terence Crawford as he looks to get a big fight now that his contract with Top Rank is running out later this year. Possibility Crawford could be sitting out until the contract expires, unless Bob Arum can get him a fight that actually makes him some money instead of losing money on Terence Crawford. So Bob Arum knows Crawford is most likely going to leave him when the contract expires. He's even willing to let Crawford fight on a PBC network in order to get these fights done. Arum has offered PBC and Al Heyman to control the promotion, meaning that he'll allow Crawford to cross over and Top Rank will still be involved, but Crawford will be allowed to fight on a PBC platform, whether that's Fox, whether that's Showtime, in order to make this fight happen. That's Arum's offer to Keith Thurman's rant on him, as well as Sean Porter, who did not like the purse that they were guaranteed to fight Terence Crawford if they was to fight on ESPN. So Arum is looking to make the fight happen any way possible. He's telling Al Heyman and PBC, hey, if you want to lose money on this fight, by all means, put up the guarantee that Crawford has to make according to their contract, which is $4 to $5 million. Guarantee that money. Crawford will fight on the PBC platform. You control the promotion, and then let's see if this fight can generate any business with the guaranteed purses that you're going to offer Crawford and a Keith Thurman and a Sean Porter. And it's a lot more than what Bob was willing to offer those guys. So there's really no excuse for this fight not to happen. Bob is willing to ship Terence Crawford services to a PBC platform in order to, get him the fights that he needs to enhance his legacy. All Al Heyman has to do is guarantee him $4 or $5 million, and the fight can happen. So I don't see what's the issue. Bob is not willing to guarantee that type of money in order to make this fight, so he's telling Al Heyman to, let's see if you're willing to lose money on this fight with those guaranteed type purses. So I don't see any movement when it comes to this. I'm not sure if PBC is even interested in taking up the offer. Maybe they are. I mean, there have been some signs they actually acknowledged Crawford in the last Spence fight, so that's a good sign. Maybe that they're working on a deal to perhaps bring Crawford over with Top Rank still somewhat involved. They're just not in control of the promotion at all. It'll be PBC. It'll be a PBC bill. They just have to guarantee Crawford a lot of money. So let's see if they're willing to do that. There's no excuses for Crawford not to fight Sean Porter next, since the Spence is not really interested in making that fight right now. So it's going to be interesting to see a lot of pieces fall into place. Who is Crawford going to fight next? Can he actually work out a 2-fight deal where Crawford crosses over, as long as they can guarantee him the money for his expiring Top Rank contract? Who is Manny Pacquiao going to fight next? That will determine who Spence fights next. And if Pacquiao fights McGregor next for the first quarter of this year, then who is Spence going to fight? Because he ain't going to fight Terence Crawford. Not coming off that performance. He's going to want at least 1 or 2 fights to shake off more cobwebs, get a little more sharper, and see if he can get back to at least what he was prior to the Sean Porter fight. Because what you saw against Danny Garcia, that guy ain't gonna beat Terence Crawford. Might not even beat an aging 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao. So he should take another fight. If it's not going to be Pacquiao, then I don't see him fighting Terence Crawford next, not coming off that performance. So we'll see if PBC bites on this offer. I mean, they should. I mean, they got to guarantee Crawford a lot of money though. And is Alan Heyman willing to take an L on this fight? I mean, he's been taking L's for a lot of his fights. I mean, considering the purses he guarantees a lot of his fighters. I mean, the Charlo pay-per-view took a massive L. I mean, look at the purses they guaranteed Derevyanchenko and Rosario. Retirement packages for them to give up their name, and in the case of Rosario, his belts to the Charlo twins. And then pay-per-view didn't do anything. All the money he guaranteed Wilder for the second Fury fight, and it didn't even do a million buys. So Al Heyman is most likely already taking L's with the majority of his events. So why not take an L in this one and try to get Crawford's scalp with one of his premier fighters? The issue is I don't see any of his premier welterweights beating Terence Crawford. Not a Keith Thurman coming off a almost 2-year layoff. Not Errol Spence coming off a weak performance against Danny Garcia. And Manny Pacquiao is trying to make Conor McGregor money. He's trying to make a Conor McGregor payday. So this is a good offer for Arum, willing to send Crawford services to a PBC platform just to get him a big fight that he deserves, to prove that he's the best welterweight in the world. And a Sean Porter will be a good first test towards a bigger fight, bigger showdown. There's no excuses unless PBC doesn't want to lose money on this fight. But they're already taking L's, so why not just take this fight, guarantee Crawford his 4 or 5 million, and see if they can and roll the dice on pay-per-view with Sean Porter, and also roll the dice on a pay-per-view with Errol Spence. But that would be a much bigger fight, especially later down the line, later this year, if everything goes back to somewhat normal, and they'll be able to put a decent crowd for this fight. So there's really no excuse unless Al Heyman doesn't want to take an L, guaranteeing Crawford all that money. Arum is fed up, knows he can't do the fight on his terms on ESPN. His PBC guys are overpaid, to think they're worth more than what they really are. So let Al Heyman take the L. And if they don't make the fight, it's really not on Bob. It's just that PBC ain't interested in, handing over their scalps, their premier fighters, for Terence Crawford to stomp on them and make them look like more protected baby chumps that they are. I don't know what it is, man. It's just different levels. Bob can breed great fighters. He can find them, breed them, and turn them into great fighters. Yeah, they leave them eventually, but that's the history of the game. That's part of the game. The fighter becomes bigger, doesn't really need a promoter. I mean, look what Canelo and Oscar. Eventually a fighter will evolve if they get to that level, and to a point they don't even need a promoter. But it's just a difference in levels of developing a fighter. Bob continues to fight great fighters, and PBC continues to protect their fighters. And we don't really know how good they are. We're still asking the question, how good are the Charlo brothers? Well, if you're never going to step them up to fight the real competition out there, we're never going to find out. We know how good Wilder is, but look how long it took for you to finally step him up, and he faltered as soon as he stepped up. We already found out how good Keith Thurman is, but look how long it took to get that step up. Maybe it's time to change the philosophy, Al. Stop protecting these guys so goddamn much. Maybe you do have a real fighter in there or two in your stable. Maybe that's Chris Colbert. Maybe that's I'm trying to think of other fighters that's in the stable that perhaps are the real deal or could be the real deal. I mean, we still trying to find out how good Gervonta Tank Davis is. We still trying to find out. But you still matching them with featherweights and bantamweights, so we're never gonna find out. You didn't want to match it with Lomachenko. Why is it that top ranked fighters are considered, you know, more of the real deal? Look at the pound for pound list. Bunch of top ranked fighters. Don't see many PBC fighters. What is like one, two at most? So no excuses. Make the fight, Pete. Make the fight. Take that L. And guarantee all that money to Crawford and roll the dice on a Crawford Porter pay-per-view first, and then a Crawford Spence. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.